Hi everyone. Good evening. Yes. Hi. Good evening everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay. Hi. Good evening. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Good. Okay. Perfect then. Okay. So anyway, welcome to Basic English Language 101, which is basically day two of your Basic English Language 101 or your English language proficiency training. Loud and clear. That's perfect. Thank you. Okay. So before we go ahead and start the discussion that we will be having for today, I just want to talk to you guys. I just want to ask how you're currently doing so that you'll be able to practice yourself speaking the English language more as well. Okay. So, because later on we'll have more topics to discuss. We'll simply continue where we left off yesterday, which I believe we stopped at adjectives, if I'm not wrong. Okay, adjectives or adverbs. So we'll just simply continue off from that. But before we continue the topics that we will be discussing for today, again, I just want to check up on you guys so that I'll be able to talk to you guys as well. Because yesterday I was able to hear some of the voices, but of course, not everyone. And I want to hear everyone's voices. Okay. So let me say hi to those who are already here. Let me say hi first to, I want to hear the voice of, I'm not sure if I'm going to read this right, um, Sania Jana, or am I reading it wrong? Do correct me if that's wrong.
Hello po, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Is that really your name?
Yes po, it is pronounced as Shayna Hannah.
Shayna Hannah, that's so unique. Shayna Hannah, I see. That's so unique. I love your name. Okay, how
Thank
are
you po.
you?
I'm fine po. How are you po?
I'm fine, thank you. And you all. The very basic. I'm fine, thank you. And you. You're fine. How can you say that you're fine for today?
Ah, ah, I feel a little ano po,
Hmm.
ano tawag dun?
Oh, English. You can do it. Oh, what do you call it? You feel
Ah,
a little what?
ah,
Oh, you can do it. Is it nervous, excited, happy? Oh, what feeling do you have for today? Oh, yes, Shania
I'm
Hannah.
sorry. Hindi ko maalala yung term.
Oh, English
I
din.
can't remember the term po. Productive. I feel a little productive
Productive.
today.
Wow. I like that. I like that. Not everyone actually feels productive, right? Sometimes most of the time we feel like there's not enough time for us to do all the things that we need to do. Why? Why are you feeling productive?
I finish some chores.
Mm-hmm.
I made some errands for my father and from
Mm.
my mother.
Wow, of course. Duties at home,
Yes,
doing
po.
chores, following the errands of our parents. I see, I see. So, if I may ask, why are you taking this particular course or this training?
Um, I planned on taking the one with the one about VA training. But
Mm-hmm.
then I also saw this course where it
Mm-hmm.
is offered for free about English language proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So I also enrolled because uh of the opportunity of learning.
Mm-hmm. So you have plans of being a VA?
I was planning po po.
You're planning. Okay. How about now? Are you currently studying now, or do you have another work?
Oh, no po. I'm a full-time mom.
Oh, a full-time mom, and then you want to go into the VA
Apo,
path as
yes po.
well. I see. What type of tasks do you think you would want to get from your client, or what type of tasks are you aiming for as a VA, if ever?
Admin task.
I see, I see. Okay, and so far, apart from this course or apart from this training, are there any other courses that you're currently taking as well?
As of now, nothing. This is my
Mhm.
first training.
Oh, this is your first training. I see. But do you have future plans on what are the steps that you would take for you to really pursue the VA life?
Ah, I actually applied na po sa Cyberbacker, and I passed the initial
Mm-hmm.
interview, and I'm still waiting for the email for the CBPA.
I see. Wow. Well, let's hope the best for that. Cross fingers.
Thank
Hopefully,
you.
you get the job that you're aiming for. I see. Thank you very much for that. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
I like that you are productive for today. Thank you. Good job. Okay. Let me ask as well. I want to hear the lovely voice of Rosalind. Rosalind.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? How are you? You're on
I'm,
mute.
I'm doing good.
You're doing good. Why? 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 How can you say that you're doing good? What made you feel good today?
So I just got home from work and I'm quite stressed. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, I also feel productive about my day. So all
Oh,
in all, yeah, I feel good.
that's nice. It's good that you're feeling productive. It's actually very nice that you should feel productive. So you said that you just came home. You just came home from work. What work do you have right now? I'm sorry.
Actually, just some pieces of my relative, but yeah, it's on retail.
Retail. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
I see. And what made you take this course?
So first of all, one of my reasons why I enrolled in this course is just that I want to enhance or maybe develop some of my skills in speaking in English. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite confident. I have my prior knowledge about it, but I just like to enhance some of my skills and the way I speak English.
Mm-hmm. So is it just for really self-development or do you have plans for it for work related type of
Um,
concerns?
yeah, some part of it. It also related about being a VA. So yeah.
I see. So you're also looking into that particular path. Okay, okay, that's nice. But for now, so you still have your work, so you're still just looking into it?
Yes.
I see. Do you have plans to make it full time?
Oh yes, I do.
Well, let's hope the best for that as well. Okay, let's hope the best for that. And are you already home or are you currently on travel right now?
Now I just got home.
Oh, you just got
Actually,
home. Okay,
yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. So relax while you're listening to this discussion. Okay, and it's been a hard day today. So relax. You deserve the rest that you will have for for today. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Jocelyn. Good, good. I want to hear the voice as well of um Billy Ryan. I like the name. Very it's like an American pop star. Billy.
Hello, good evening. I'm Billy.
Hi. Good evening. It's my
Yes.
first time hearing your voice. So who are you trying to? How are you?
Great.
Why
Doing great.
great?
Uh, by doing my part of my family
Mm-hmm.
and some lecturing on my nephews and going to malls and coming back with in good condition.
Wow, you had a lot of things that you did today. That's nice. You went to the mall, then teaching as well. That's a lot of things that you are currently doing. Okay, I see. And I'm also curious, of course. So why are you currently taking this course?
I was curious. I found it on the website and YouTube, and I got interested. So I'm thinking it and to develop my English skills.
And what do you need it for?
I'm currently looking for a job, specifically for either call center or VA. And apparently I'm in the house using my brother's computer, and I like to become VA.
So you have like two options that you're looking at. So either a VA or part of the BPO industry.
Yes, yes.
I see, I see. If you're going to be a VA, what type of tasks are you currently aiming for?
Uh, this is my first time, and I want to know more about this VA code.
So you're still kind of looking into the
Yes.
different things that it actually offers. That's nice. That's nice. Of course, it's good to have a lot of options. But for the BPO one, are you applying as well to different BPO centers?
Yes, yes. I'm applying. It's also my first time. So because I'm curious about this phishing and computer.
But do you have a preference in the accounts that you're looking at for the BPO ones? Are you looking at voice accounts, non-voice accounts, or either would do?
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet. So you don't really have a preference yet with that.
Yes, yes.
I see. I see. Well, good luck. Good luck to that. Good luck. Hopefully, you would be able to look find exactly what the preference that you have either with the VA or the BPO one as well. I see. That's nice to have a lot of options. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much for that. And I hope you have a good rest of the day as well, just like the rest of the day that you've had earlier. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
You're
Welcome.
welcome. How about for you, Irma Vet? Leah? 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 I can't hear anything, but you're unmuted. Okay. Huh, that's sad. Okay, I'll get back to you later. How about for you, Gian, Eric? Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome again.
Yes, because it's my first time talking to you as well. So
Thank you.
hi, what do you currently have for today?
For today, I'm taking care of lots of babies.
Lots of babies. How many? How
I
many
do
babies?
breed dogs. Sorry.
Oh, that type of babies. Oh, that's
Shih
a
Tzu.
sweet type. Oh, that's the same. I have the same type of breed as well, but we only have one. So it's just a baby, not babies.
Babies.
Just a
Actually,
baby.
it's 7 and 1 daughter. I'm taking care of my daughter.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
7. My God. Just one is kind of difficult, but very fulfilling to take care of. So how about
Yeah.
7?
It's
Oh,
very difficult. Now, for that, yes, I'm for that.
yeah, and it's very fulfilling to be
For
a
that,
parent.
7 Shih Tzus.
My
By
God.
the way, I'm familiar with VA because I once worked at EB management for
Mm-hmm.
almost 2 years and for Facebook ads for almost 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Media buyer.
That's different industries that you were
Yeah.
able to be into before. So what made you decide to take this particular course?
I saw
Where will you use it?
the course of rather Coach M that applies for a real estate agent. By the way, sorry for my voice because I had a stroke, so that because my voice is slurred for one. I had a stroke for 3 times.
Oh my God. I hope you're getting better now, or at least
Luckily,
improving.
I'm getting
Yes.
better.
That's good
But
then.
my voice is being affected by the stroke.
There might really be some side effects with that, but hopefully that
also,
will get better as well.
Also, my head is spinning. Luckily, I have my wife to be with, to taking care of my little daughter.
And your fur babies. Yeah, so what made you decide to get this particular course?
To gain experience and to have a confidence in myself, because I'm lately had a stroke. My voice is slurred. That's why. And also, I saw that one of our course is for real estate agent, because my wife is currently working in Cyberbacker as real estate agent for 2 years. That's why I want to apply in Cyberbacker and gain more knowledge about real estate agent, so that I will well equipped before applying.
That's very good. That's very good. Yes, we really have to be prepared and well
before
equipped.
applying.
That's true. That's true. Instead of like going head first and we don't know what we're doing with that particular job. That's nice. I'm hoping the best that you will be able to get all the knowledge that you need before you go ahead and apply. And of course, to be able to get the job that you want. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Jean, and hoping for the best of your health as well.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. And how about for you, Ray Villanueva? Ray. You're on mute just in case.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
It's my first time hearing your voice as well. So how are you?
I'm good right now, yeah.
You're good right now. How was your day so far?
I was so busy this day. I have some errands, doing some things. I went to municipality. I take care of my daughter, and I do my my online selling job.
Yeah. Oh, what type of products do you have with your online selling?
Yeah, the UK.
Oh, okay. Is that with like Shopee, Lazada, or is it like Facebook?
No, it's a live selling.
Oh,
yeah, with my wife.
Oh, I'm really curious about that. Like, how long do you do your live stream or the live selling that you do?
It depends on the viewers. If we have lots of viewers, we have 3 hours live selling, or if we don't have viewers, an hour like that.
3 hours? That's too long.
3 hours talking to someone that you don't see.
I know that's quite long. So
yeah,
you need a lot of stamina
patience,
and energy.
Yeah.
Oh, patience.
Yes, energy.
Why do you need patience?
Yeah, because some viewers or minors are just doing joy. I mean, they just going to mine, and then after you send the invoice, they just sin zone. Something like that.
Oh, like not
they are not
by
joy reservers. That
Oh, that's a term. What are joy reservers?
These people are what do you call this? they going to say mine for the items. Then after you do the invoice, you send the invoice to them, and they're just okay, I will pay that later. After you follow up the payment, they're going to see so only your message like that.
Oh, so what do you do with that?
Nothing. We
Oh.
just okay, fine. If you don't want to pay, okay, it's yours. It's yours. What do you call this? It's not my loss. It's your
Oh,
loss.
but what if it happens again, like the same person? Like they not tag
We're
them
going to
as
block them.
bogus
Actually, after
buyers?
after they do that, we're going to block them, so they cannot join our live selling anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Are there a lot of people like that?
Yeah.
I felt it.
I don't know why they are happy doing like that. They just spending their time watching and what do you call this? Taking mines or items that they don't want to buy, or there are some people that they want to get that item, but some people what do you call this, getting that without nothing. They're happy with that.
So the others who really want to get the item were unable to get
Yes.
it. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, how
And
long
we
have you been
also
doing that?
since January this year only. Actually, we also have another uh, uh, garments business. It's just like a made to order dresses,
Oh.
costumes for kids.
Oh, that's totally nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's
But
nice.
unfortunately, when the pandemic begins, so the party, there's no party, so
Oh,
there's no
true.
costumes, there's no dress, there's no orders.
That's right. So
Yeah.
is that why you also added the live selling
Yes.
business? I
Yeah.
see. But hopefully our world will be better. There are parties going on right now, but small parties. So
Yeah, a
hopefully
small party. Yeah. And
going back up.
there are some mommies that asking for the inquiries and some orders right now. And we're happy for that.
So is it like a rent costume for
No, it's
rent?
made to order. They that will be their own dress or costumes.
And then you make it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. So if, for example, they request for a Disney princess type of costume, you're going to
Yes.
make it?
Yeah, they're just we're going to ask what design they want and send us the prepared design.
Oh, wow. I like it.
Yeah.
It's totally nice. Hopefully that
Our
would go
inspiration
back
is my
up.
daughter.
Oh, yes. If you're a parent, you really get a lot of
Yes.
ideas from your children or from your kids. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Let's hope for your business to flourish more. I see. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank you.
much for that, Ray.
Yeah,
That's
thank you too.
very interesting. I see. Okay, wow. I love talking to you guys. Okay, so anyway, I hope everyone else had a good day today. You were able to complete all of the errands, the tasks that you are aiming for today, and would be able to spend the rest of the day peacefully resting and spending time with your family, maybe, or doing the other tasks that you would need to do. Okay, and anyway, welcome once again to our day 2 of English language proficiency training. So we will just simply continue or pick up where we left off yesterday. So let me just scroll. Let me scroll. So there. So we completed yesterday the adjectives, right? We had the order of adjectives, if you remember. Um, if ever there would be multiple adjectives in one sentence or in one noun or pronoun to describe it. So we have a particular order that we should follow, right? So we have the OQ DASCOM. Very good. That's right. That's correct, Anna. We have the OQ DASCOM that we should follow, right? So hopefully that's something that You would be able to take into consideration whenever you would want to describe a particular noun. If there's a lot of things that you want to say about that particular object, so always remember your OQ DASCOM so that it's not going to be confusing for the listener and not confusing for you as well. Okay, because sometimes that will be that might cause a misunderstanding or a misconception. So to lessen that, so we can follow that particular order. And I believe we've also mentioned about comparatives and superlatives, right? In regards with two or more nouns that we are comparing. So if we're going to use the ER or EST or the more versus most, right? So there are some adjectives that we are just going to add more versus most, and there are some that we're going to add ER or EST, and there will be some that will be a totally different type of word or type of adjective for their comparative and superlative form. Okay, just like the examples that we've had yesterday, the good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. And then for beautiful, we don't say beautifuler, beautifulest, right? We say more beautiful, most beautiful. For thin, we say thinner, thinnest. We don't say more thin, most thin, right? So it depends on the adjective that we have for the rule to be followed in regards with the comparative and superlative form. So we'll just simply continue with that. So we have here our SVA or our subject verb agreement. So what is the subject verb agreement? So this is one of the most common concerns that I have in regards with the sentence construction, because this is the most common error that happens whenever I listen to someone, especially with applicants, for example, okay, or just casual storytelling of other people. This is one of the most common error that might happen is in regards with the SVA or the subject verb agreement. Because we do know that for the verb, I did mention it yesterday, right? That we have a plural form, we have a singular form of a verb. And the plural or the singular form of the verb rather, of course, will depend on its subject. So if the subject is singular, of course, the verb should be singular as well. If the subject is plural, of course, the verb should be plural as well. And there's a different rule that we have for verb in terms of plural, singular, compared or versus to subjects or the nouns or pronouns. For the subject or for the nouns, if we have the singular or plural form, it's either we add an S or ES to it, right, to indicate that it's plural. For example, book. To say that it's plural, we just add S, books. For table, we say tables. For bag, we say bags. So we just simply add an S or ES to that, right? But if it's going to be for a verb, okay, for verb, it's going to be the opposite of it, okay? For verb, the singular form will always have an S on it, while the plural form of the verb will not have an S on it. So the normal verb itself. For example, the verb will be run. So the RUN. So the plural form of that will be run, while the singular form of that will be run. So for example, she runs to the cafe. Okay, versus they run to the cafe. Okay, because we have here there. So for example, that sentence, so she runs to the cafe. So she, of course, we do know that this is a singular subject, right? It's a single pronoun. So of course, if it's a single pronoun, the verb should be singular as well. And the verb that we have is run. So again, for verbs, if it's going to be the singular form, you should be adding an S or ES on it. If it ends in a vowel, so you just add ES to that, right? But if our subject is plural, there, so they is a plural form of a pronoun, right? To indicate the third person. So since our subject will be plural, so the verb should be plural as well. And the plural form of the verb is without an S. So the normal verb itself. So it's going to be the opposite case for our verbs compared to the nouns or pronouns that we do have. Okay, because for nouns, we add an S to indicate that it's plural, while for verb, again, we add an S to indicate that it's the singular form of the verb. Just like the example that we have here. So singular subject, singular verb. So the system is singular, prints, the checks. Okay, we cannot say the system print the checks. First off, that sounds wrong, and it is wrong. Okay, because again, print will be the plural form of the verb. So the customer, it's just one. So is waiting for you. Okay, because we do have the is, are, was, were, right? So the is and was will be the singular form of the verb, while are and were will be the plural form of the verb. And again, plural subject, plural verb. So we, it's plural, review a lot of documents. We don't say we reviews a lot of documents. Okay, tickets, plural as well, are updated hourly. Okay, okay. So there. Okay, now for this example that we have here, so there's something wrong with this particular sentence. The razor strikes so fast because challengers catches them quickly with speed. So what's the thing that's wrong here is going to be the verb itself, right? So we have here the razor. So this is the subject. And then the verb that we have is drives. That's right. Very good. So it should be the racers drive without an S so fast because challengers is also another subject that we do have. It should be catch them quickly with speed. Very good. Okay, so there. So it should have been the racers drive so fast because challengers catch them quickly with speed. Okay, good job. Okay, okay. So always take note of that for our SBA because again, that's one of the most common error. It's very minor. It does not really affect the meaning of what you want to say, but of course, it's always better, right, for us to have the correct grammar in regards with this particular scenario. So singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb as well. And again, it's going to be the opposite of it, okay? For subjects, for nouns, we add an S or ES to indicate that it's plural, while for verbs, we add S to indicate that it's going to be the singular form of the verb. Okay. So there. Again, just in case if you would have questions, so make sure to send in your questions, raise your hand so that I would know if ever that you would have any questions or concerns, okay? But if there's none, I'll continue. So of course, in relation to that, for our SVA, something that's going to be related with verbs as well is going to be our verb tenses. So we do know that we have our present tense, past tense, future tense, okay? Past participle as well. So we have these different types of verbs that we do have, but we'll just have the basics for now. Because this is something that would also hinder or that would also affect the meaning that you would want to convey with the information that you have mentioned. Because of course, if it's something that happened before, that has already happened, that happened to the past, so we should be using the past tense of the verb. And if we're talking about something that's currently happening, so we should be using the present tense of the verb, right? And if it's something that has not yet happened, that will happen, is something that is coming, okay? So we should be using the future tense of the verb instead. And that might cause some misunderstanding sometimes with how we are able to decipher what we are listening. Because what if, for example, they're talking about something that's currently happening, but the verbs that they are using are the past tense of the verb. So of course, since we are hearing it in the past tense, so we will be assuming that it's something that has happened before. right? So we need to be conscious about our verb tenses because it would affect the time frame. Okay, the time frame of our story or whatever we are, whatever we want to express. So if it's something that's currently happening, use the present tense. If it's in the past, has happened before, I'm sorry for that. Use the past tense of the verb. And if it's something that will happen, so the future tense of the verb. Like for example, the verb that we have here is eat. So we do know that present tense, of course, is just the same. So it's just either it's going to be singular or plural. And then the past tense of that will be ate, and future tense will be will eat. It's very easy for the future tense, right? You just simply need to add will for it. So will eat, will run, will read, will ride, will buy. Okay, that's how we indicate the future tense of the verb. Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking of verbs. Okay, I'll give you a verb and then kindly provide the past tense of that verb. Okay, for example, the verb is going to be buy, B-U-Y. What will be the past tense of that verb for buy? Very good. Bought, that's correct. So buy, bought, right? What about if it's going to be for bring? What will be the past tense of the word bring? Brought. Very good. That's right. So buy, bought, bring, brought, right? What about for the verb drink? Oh, you have mixed spellings. Some of you said drunk. Some of you said drunk. Okay, drank or drunk. So what will be the past tense of the word drink? So that's right. It's going to be drank. Okay, it's the D-R-A-N-K. The D-R-U-N-K, that's going to be the past participle. Okay, the past tense is drank. So the D-R-A-N-K, the past participle will be drunk. The D-R-U-N-K. There. So that's something that's very confusing because it sounds the same, almost sounds the same, right? The spelling is just something that's different. So even whenever I think of the word drink, also for run, I tend to think first, what's the spelling? Okay. Yes. Oh, for that, they will get drunk. It should be you. For past participle. Okay, noise, right? Same thing with run, because that's how I tend to remember the drink past tense is I use it with the word run as well. Because for run, it's run, ran, run, right? Okay, it's run, ran, run. So it's the U-A-U, right? So that's how I pattern it with the word drink as well. So it's I-A-U. Okay, so there. It's just my own way of identifying it. Because it's going to be the same for drink and also run for the spelling. So the past tense for run will be ran, R-A-N. Past participle will be run, R-U-N. Okay, there. So drink, drank, drunk, run, ran, run. Pronunciation. Okay, pronunciation matters. What else? How about for the word read? Yeah, same spelling, but how will we pronounce it? Read, that's correct. So it's going to be the same spelling, but you're going to pronounce it as read. So read, read, read. Okay, good job. What about for the verb hurt? H-U-R-T. Oh, good job. Yes. It's going to be hurt as well. We don't say hurted. Okay, it's also going to be hurt. So hurt, hurt, hurt. Okay, the past participle will be hurt as well. Okay, you don't say hurted. Because for the past tense, right? It's for the most of the verbs that we have, it's just either we're going to add d or ed on it, right? But I can think of a verb right now that we just simply add d or ed on it. But there are, but my head is going to the other words right now, to the other verbs that will have a different example. That's right, walk. Walked. But I really can't think of another verb right now. There, talk. Thank you. That's correct. Talk, talk, talked as well for the past participle there, right? So it's either we just add d or ed for the for not the normal, but for most of the verbs that we do have, right? So sometimes if we're not aware of what the past tense would be, we might have the tendency to just simply add d or ed on it. Okay, so that's not going to be the case, huh? There, so always check. What do we have? Okay, do we add D, ED, or do we have a change of word for that particular past tense and the past participle as well? Very good. We still remember our past tense and past participle. Good job. Okay, now just to add up with SVA or our subject verb agreement. Okay, because of course we have our pronouns you and I, right? And we did mention earlier that if it's a singular subject, singular verb. And if it's a plural subject, it's a plural verb. Now we do have exemptions for that. We have our pronouns you and I, because we do know that for you and the pronoun I as well, for you, it can either be singular or plural, depending on the context. For the pronoun I, we do know that pronoun I is a singular subject, right? If we're talking about I, I'm just talking about myself. It's not going to be more than one, right? But again, we do have exemptions for that because for pronouns you and I, both of them would always take a plural verb. So we don't say I is. Okay, we don't say you was. Okay, it's always you are, you were, I am. But for the past tense of the pronoun I, it's going to be was. It's going to, that's the only time that it's going to be the singular form of the verb. Okay, but the rest, it's going to be the plural form of it. Okay, so you are, you were, I am, I was. Okay, so we don't say you was, you is, I is. Okay, so there. Just something additional that I remembered. Okay. There. So relating to our verb tenses, so characteristic or form of a verb, it indicates the time of the action, occurrence, or state of being. Because again, it's going to be important that we remember or we are very conscious about our verb tenses because it will indicate the time frame, okay, of our storytelling. If we're talking about something that's currently happening, or are we talking about something that has happened already, or are we talking about something that has not yet happened, that will still happen. So it's very important that we are actually conscious about that. So there's actually a guideline or a rule that we follow for the verb tenses, but this is not going to be like for everything, okay? We don't shift tenses from one tense to another, meaning if the tense that we currently have right now is the present tense, you don't just suddenly change to a past tense. So again, it depends on the time frame for each action. So if the story that you're talking about is something that all of them is happening in the past, so all of your tenses should be the past form of the tense. You cannot just simply jump from past tense to present tense to future tense because that's going to confuse your time frame. Okay, but of course, this is not always the case. There will be instances that we can actually shift from one tense to another, going from past tense to present tense, or from future tense to past tense, if only there would be a change in time from the action that we have taken. Okay, so if, for example, now the thing that you're talking about for this action has happened in the past, but the next action that you will say is something that will happen, so you can change from past tense to future tense. But if all of them happened on the same time frame, so your sentence should have the same tenses as well. Okay, so for example, here, sorry. I explained to the customer that the invoice needs the approval of his manager. The system did not show that the manager approves his expenses. So we have here explained, this is past tense, right? We also have here needs. Needs is going to be present tense. So we have past tense and present tense in one sentence. We also have here did not show. So did not show is past tense because of the verb did, right? We also have here approves. Approves is going to be the present form of the tense, right? So there are shifting on the tenses from past tense to present tense. Same thing with the second sentence, past tense to present tense, which is going to be confusing since they are not on the same time frame. Okay? Because you have already told the customer this information, but the information that you have told them is something that is currently happening. Okay, and this one as well. Okay, so it should be for the same tenses instead. So I explained to the customer that the invoice, past tense of the need is needed, that the invoice needed the approval of his manager. The system did not show that the manager approved his expenses. So now it shows that all of the information that you are talking about, all of them already happened before, right? All of them are already done. They're all completed already. Okay, so that's why it's important that the tenses are going to be accurate as well. Okay, depending on the time frame that you're talking about, of course, because again, there would be instances that not you, oh, it's not there. There would be some instances that we can actually shift tenses. Okay, again, shift tenses only if there is a change in time from one action or state to another. Okay, for example, here, let me provide an example. Sorry, let me type. Just one moment. So here. So for example, this sentence that I have here. I will call the customer to let him know what I will find out about the invoice. So if you would see the verbs that we have here, will call. We also have will find, right? So these are the two verbs that we have, and both of them are in the future form of the tense, right? And it does not sound good. Okay, because he said that you will be calling the customer so that you will be able to know what you will find. So it's not something that you have not find yet. So why will you inform the caller about it, or you will inform the customer about it, right? So how do you think we can make this sentence better? What should be changed? Or is there something that should be changed? Or is this already correct? If it's already correct, then that's correct. Right? Is there something that should be changed in that particular sentence? We have the will call, also will find. Found with a question mark. I will call the customer to let them know what I found out about the invoice. Very good. That's right. That's actually correct. Yes. Okay, that's correct. So instead of us saying, I will call the customer to let them know what I will find out about the invoice, you can just simply say, I will call the customer to let them know what I found out about the invoice. Okay, and if you would notice, there's a shift on the tense. So we'll call as a future tense, and then found is going to be the past tense of the verb find, right? So the information that you will be telling the customer rather is something that you have already completed. That's why there are different tenses, because they have different time frames as well. Okay, so it really depends on the time frame that you would have. Okay, or the time for that particular action. Okay, because mostly what happens is that I'm not sure why what everyone mostly uses or most people uses is always the present form of the tense, especially this one common error that's always happening in terms of the verb did. For did, because if it's did, right, we follow it up with another verb. Now, what normally happens is that after the word did, the verb that would follow it is also in the past form of the tense, which is not correct. Okay, whenever you are going to use the word did, it's already the past tense, so the verb that should follow it should not be changed anymore. It should be in its normal tense, the present tense. So for example, drink. So we say did drink. We don't say did drank. Okay, just simply say did drink. That's already the past form of the tense because of the word did. Okay, if you say did drank, that's double past tense. Okay, just like this one, did not show. We don't say showed, did not showed. Okay, so it's just did not show. Also, for example, read. We say did read, we don't say did read. Okay. So whenever you're going to use the word did, make sure to follow it up with not the past form of the verb itself, but just the verb itself. Okay, just the normal word itself. Okay, so did plus the verb. So you don't do did plus the past tense of the verb. Okay, because that's always the common error that we are able to listen to. Okay. So did plus the present tense of the verb. That's already the past tense. Okay. Don't say did plus the past form of the verb. Okay. So there. So that's what we have. It's going to be for our SVA, for our verb tenses as well. So make sure to be more conscious about it whenever you're speaking in English. But of course, it will take practice. Okay, it's not something that you would be able to perfect in no time. Okay, everyone will always have room for improvement in terms of their grammar. Okay, everyone. Okay, you will always have an error in your grammar, but as long as you would be able to correct yourself, right, then that's really good. Okay, now apart from our SVA, from our nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs as well. Okay, so another factor that might add something to our sentences is in regards with our word usage. So how do we use particular words? Are we using them correctly? Because there are some instances that some words are not correctly used or are overly used. I'm guilty of that. Okay, so when do we use particular words, especially the ones that are commonly incorrectly used? So first off, for our word usage, just a tip, especially if you're just starting to get used with English, right? Avoid using fancy words and phrases, or rather avoid using big words, because even if you're using big words, it would not really make you sound good. But yes, it would make you sound good, but what if you are not sure of the meaning of that particular fancy word or that big word? So right, it would cause misunderstanding. And also, it's better if you can make your words simpler, okay, so that the other party will be able to understand it better as well. Because not everyone will have the same set of vocabulary. Not everyone will know the same set of words, right? So what will always be better whenever you're talking to someone, especially if you're speaking in English, is to make sure that the other person or the listener or the person that you're talking to will be able to understand whatever you would want to convey. So simpler ones, as long as it conveys the idea, that's already good. Okay. Because sometimes if you're using a lot of words, you're using fancy words, big words as well, it might cause more confusion, not just to you, but to your listener as well, right? But if you know, right, that this other party knows what you're talking about or fancies big words as well, as long as you know the meaning of it, as long as you know when to use it, how to use it as well, then go ahead. Okay, but if you're not sure, okay, so refrain from using those particular fancy words or big words as well and phrases. Okay, but later on we'll have that as well, especially not really fancy words or big words, but for phrases, nor common idioms that you might hear, especially from US culture. So we'll have that later on as well. So in terms of word usage, so first we have here accept versus accept. So they sound the same, almost. They almost sound the same. So sometimes there might be instances that they get interchanged because of how it sounds, but they will have totally different meaning. So they are not used interchangeably. Okay. So accept and accept are two different words. They exist in different worlds. They will have different usage as well. So first is accept. So the word accept is to receive. So for example, she accepted gifts. Gifts. So meaning she received gifts, right? But for the word accept, it's to take out, to leave out, exclude. Okay, so you're not part of it. Okay. So for example, John accepted the task that was assigned to him while all the agents were tired except for James. So James is the only one who's not tired. Okay, so they will have different usage, different meanings as well. Though they almost sound the same, but they're not going to be the same thing. Okay, accept means to receive, accept means to take out, leave out, you're excluded, you're not a part of. Okay, because sometimes there are some errors with these two different words, especially on the written form. It's more obvious, of course, if it's written, accept versus accept. If you're just simply listening, you might not really get the difference between the two. But in the written form, you would clearly see that if they're clearly using accept or accept. Okay, so there. Okay, also, this is something that's overly used for us Filipinos in terms of word usage. It's something that I'm guilty of as well. You might have noticed it because I've noticed it yesterday when I was talking to you guys. Oh, I kept on using that word. We have these words just and only. These two particular words, just and only, they're actually overused in Filipino English. Okay, so try to eliminate these two words from your spill since they don't really add much value unless it's really important to emphasize the just and the only. There are really instances like that. But there are instances or scenarios as well that we are fond of using these two words, even though it would not really add any meaning. It might act as a filler of some form or of some type. Okay, so the words just and only, especially for the word just, I'm very guilty of with the word just. So I tend to be more conscious about it. Sometimes in a particular 2, 3 sentences, on all those sentences, I might have used just like for all those sentences. Okay, when in fact it would not really add any meaning to it. So there, these two words, just and only, they are ones of the commonly overused words in Filipino English. Okay, so there. It's always better to express better in terms of English, not just in English, but of course in Filipino as well, whenever we're saying something. Express, don't impress. Okay, so avoid using highfalutin words or your big words, fancy words. If you're not really sure on how to use it, okay, just make sure that you would be able to express it properly. Okay, that the other party would be able to understand it better as well. Apart from except, we also have the other words fewer, less. Fewer, less, they would have the same meaning. Okay, they have the same meaning, but they have specific usage as well. So they're not going to be interchangeable. You cannot use fewer if the word should be less. Likewise, you cannot use less if it should be fewer. So they have their own set of usage as well. So when are we going to use fewer? When are we going to use less? Okay. So for the word fewer, we are going to use this when we are referring to an amount that can be expressed with a specific number, meaning if it can be expressed 1, 200, 100, 101, 575. If it can be expressed with a specific number, the particular object that we are pertaining to. Okay, well, if it's going to be for less, we are going to use the word less if what we are comparing are those objects, those subjects, those things that does not have a numeric amount. Okay, if it does not have a number attached to it, so we are going to use less for that. If it cannot be simply identified by a specific number. Okay, but if it is identified by a specific number, a specific amount, we're going to use fewer. If it's not without a specific amount or a specific number, we are going to use less. Okay, just like what we have here. So we have fewer than 100 invoices. So invoices, that's something that you can count, right? So that's why we are going to use fewer. While here, there is less water in the lake this time of the year. So we have here water, the one that we are comparing from the previous year or from the previous time of the year. So we cannot count it like 1 water, 2 water. We cannot manually count it, right, for water. That's why we are going to use less for that. Okay, so if you can assign a specific number to it, fewer. But if there's no specific amount of number that you can assign to it, you are going to use the word less for it. Okay, so there. So you cannot say there is fewer water in the lake this time of the year. You are able to understand it, right? You were able to understand that, but grammatically, that's going to be incorrect. Okay, so there. So fewer versus less. Fewer specific number, less without a specific number. Okay, it does not have a numeric amount. Okay, other word usage that we do have, it's versus it's with an apostrophe. Okay, I'm sure you have seen this at times. It's your with an apostrophe as well. So we'll go ahead through that also because yes, it's quite common, though it would not be obvious if you're just simply speaking it, right? But it will be obvious if you are writing it. Okay, so when are we going to use it's without an apostrophe, and when are we going to use it's with an apostrophe? Sorry, wait up. Okay, okay. Here. So for it's versus it's, okay, so the word it apostrophe s, okay, it apostrophe s, it's going to be a contraction. Okay, meaning it's a shortened form of these two words, which is going to be it is, it was, it has, okay? While for the word it's without an apostrophe, so that's going to be the possessive form of the pronoun it. Okay, possessive form meaning it belongs. Okay, belonging to it, property. Okay, so there, they will have different usage as well. That's why they are also something that cannot be used interchangeably. Okay, for example, Google has its own email function. So if you would see, we have used it's without an apostrophe because the email function is belonging to Google. We cannot say Google has its own email function, or Google has own email function, right? So if you're not sure, for example, if you're going to use with an apostrophe s or without an apostrophe s, so you can try to take out the contraction. So you can listen to it. It is, it has, it was. Is it correct if I take out the contraction, right? And here, it's a dream come true. So with an apostrophe s, because we can, if it's not without the contraction, we can just say it is a dream come true, or it was a dream come true. Okay, so there. So it's versus it's with an apostrophe. One is the possessive form. The other one is just a contraction of it's, it is, it was, it has. Okay, there. And apart from it's, we also have there, or there, which is a lot. Okay, because they all sound the same. So this is also a common confusion, especially in the written language form. So when are we going to use there? When are we going to use there? And when are we going to use there? With an apostrophe. Okay, so there means belonging to them. So it's also going to be the possessive form, okay, of the pronoun them or they. And then there, the THERE, it's totally a different word because it is pointing to a place, okay, that is far away from you, okay, which is not here, it's there, okay, as opposed to here. And the there, they apostrophe RE, it's also a contraction of they are, they were, just like with our it apostrophe S. Okay, it's going to be a contraction of they are and they were, or they were. So these three will have their own specific usage as well. Their possessive form of them or they, there, it's going to be pointing to a place. And they apostrophe RE, it's going to be a contraction of they are or they were. For example, their mom made them eat vegetables. They're happy because they got paid today. Are you sure she's not there? Okay, okay. So there. So we have it's versus it with an apostrophe S, there, there, there. And of course, the most common one, we have your versus yo apostrophe RE. Okay, this is one of the most common ones I believe that you are seeing as well, or that you are encountering as well, is in regards with the your versus your. Okay, so you apostrophe RE, so just like the previous ones that we've had, it's also a contraction of you are, you were. Okay, while if it's going to be your, the Y-O-U-R, Y-O-U-R, it's going to be the possessive form of the pronoun you. So belonging to, possession of, it's yours. Okay, there. So for your welcome, you are welcome. So it's with an apostrophe. So you can say Y-O-U-R welcome without an apostrophe. Okay, it's like you're possessing the welcome. Okay, submit your report when you're finished. So we have both your and your. They sound the same, right? But in spelling, so they will have different information, different usage as well. Okay, again, your possessive form of you, while you apostrophe RE, it's going to be a contraction of you are and you wear, or you wear. Okay, okay. Now, for the other word usage that we do have, we have here business versus colloquial, or for colloquial, the casual, the casual way of saying things. So, of course, if, for example, especially for those who are aiming for a client, for example, okay, so it's always better if we can use the business form or the more formal way of saying things instead of the colloquial term, because for colloquial, that's going to be for familiar conversation, if you're talking to your friends, someone that you're familiar with. So to at least sound more formal, right? So we prefer using the business form of the term itself. What do we have here? This one. This is very common. Ah, what should I do? Here, there. Hey, it's losing itself there. Sorry. Okay, so for example, we have here first, gonna or wanna. This is the colloquial form, the one that we have here. Well, this one is going to be the business form of the words itself or phrases. Gonna or wanna. Gonna or wanna is not a real word. Okay, it's just an adapted form of going to or want to. So instead of saying, I'm gonna, I wanna go there. Okay, you can say that, of course, if you're talking to someone who you're close with, okay, who you're familiar with, okay, but to sound a bit more formal and more professional as well. So instead of saying gonna, wanna, going to or want to. Okay, also here we have yeah, yep, yup. Okay, that's quite normal for us. Yep, yup. Okay, instead of saying yeah, yep, yup, you can just simply say yes. Okay, to make it, of course, more formal. Also with no, nope, nah, nah. Okay, so instead of saying those words, you can just simply say no. Right? It's shorter as well. Instead of saying nah, nah, nope. So just no. Yeah, yep, yep. Just simply say yes. Okay. Also, not a problem. No worries. Sure. If someone says thank you, so always respond, of course, with you're welcome, or I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I was able to assist you. Instead of saying not a problem, no worries, because you will make it sound like it was a problem. It was a worry for me. Or sure, if you just simply say sure, it's not like, it's like you are not acknowledging the thank you. Okay, sure. Okay. So instead of saying just simply sure, you can simply say you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to help. Okay, instead of saying not a problem or no worries or just simply sure. Okay, also we have here, give me a sec. Hold on one moment. Also, don't shorten your words. Just like this one, give me a sec. You can simply say, give me a second. Okay, instead of saying, give me a sec. Okay, are you talking to your friend? If you're talking to your friend, that's totally fine, right? But if you're talking to someone that you're doing business with, for example, or your client, so simply say, give me a second. Okay. And normally, these are the common scripts that you might hear. Hold on one moment. Okay, so they're not technically wrong, but to make it more formal and to have varieties as well on what you can say, so you can simply say, so can you please give me 2 minutes, 1 minute, so that you can provide an exact time frame on how long should this person wait. Okay, it's always better to provide a specific time frame. If, for example, you're going to do something and the other person needs to wait. So provide a time frame. Can you please give me 5 minutes? Can you please give me 2 minutes to do this, to do that before I get back to you? Okay, especially for Americans, since they're not like Filipinos who are not time conscious, they're very time conscious. Okay, time is very important for them. So it's always better to provide time frames. Okay, can you give me 30 minutes for me to do this? Can you give me an hour to do this? So that they would know what will be their expectation on how long you will be able to do something, how long you will be able to complete this task, how long should they wait, instead of saying, give me a moment. What is that moment? Is it a day? Is it an hour? Is it 30 minutes? What is that moment? Okay, hold on. What hold on? Okay, it's always better to provide time frames for that. Okay, and fragmented phrases as well. Like if, for example, you're asking, why do I keep on saying like, if, for example, you're asking for an information, you're getting an information. So instead of saying, for example, you're asking for their name, your name. So those are fragmented sentences, fragmented phrases. So if you're asking something, always have it in a full sentence instead of having it in your fragmented sentences or fragmented phrases. So may I have your name? May I have this information? May I have that information? Okay, instead of just simply saying name, your name, number. Okay, it might sound rude as well. So always make it that it's going to be a full sentence or a full thought. Okay, so there. These are just some of our business versus colloquial type of words that you might commonly encounter and commonly get skipped out as well. Okay, especially for using English, since we're not really a traditional English speaker. It's not our first language, really, right? So sometimes we just simply adapt whatever we hear from different shows, from movies as well. That's why we can easily adapt the language itself, since we're fond of watching a lot of things, right? And for Filipinos, we can easily adapt these type of languages. So there will be instances that the terms that you will be hearing them are, of course, the colloquial terms, and we might use them as well when we're talking in a business perspective. So try to get rid of those and prefer using the business terms or the business phrases for our colloquial terms as well. Especially these two, these are very common. Okay, these are very common. I always hear it whenever someone is applying, for example. Yep, nope, I'm gonna go, I wanna go there. Okay, so They're very colloquial. And again, gonna, wanna does not really exist. Okay, so going to, want to, yes, no. It's not difficult to say yes and no. Okay, so there. Okay. So these are just some of our business versus colloquial terms that we should take note of. Okay. And also one thing, if, for example, especially for those who have plans to pursue VA or to take, or even for those who are planning for BPO, but you're taking international clients, for example, or you're talking to Americans, especially Americans. Unlike us Filipinos, they don't really use the terms ma'am, miss, sir. Okay, they're more on a first name basis, unless they would specifically say that you call me this, you call me that with their title. But most of the time, they just simply prefer being called with their first name. Unlike with us Filipinos, we're fond of using ma'am, miss, sir, right, to our customers like that. So with them, a first name basis would do, unless again they specifically request to use a particular title. Okay, but commonly just first name would do, with um which might have you do some adjustments, since again we're Filipinos, we're not really used with that in our cultural perspective, right? We're always using sir, miss, ma'am. We always have this title, ate, kuya, right? Instead of just saying the name of that person. But they're just something that I remembered. Okay, so try to get used in calling them with just their first name if they prefer on you calling them that. Okay, so there. Now, apart from our word usage, okay, so we have the it's there, exact, your, and also our business versus colloquial terms. Okay, so something that would also improve, okay, our English itself, also relating to grammar, both on the written and the spoken English as well, is going to be our punctuations. Okay, why? Why are punctuations important? Okay, because for punctuations would actually affect the meaning that you would want to convey. And also, if you're reading something, punctuations can also help you express the meaning better if you will follow your punctuations. For example, I have this sentence right here. Okay, so for example, this was the sentence. Please don't stop what you're doing. So with that particular sentence, what is the meaning that you have there? What do you think it means? Please don't stop what you're doing. Based on that sentence alone, what does it mean? It means to just continue, right? To just continue what you're doing. So for example, if you're doing some chores, so you continue doing your chores, right? But if we add punctuations, that's right, they wanted you to not stop, to simply continue. But if we add punctuations, for example, here, I added exclamation points to strongly express. So please don't stop what you're doing. So that will have a turn of meaning, right? Earlier, we are saying that, no, just continue whatever you're doing. Okay, but here on this sentence, that's right, stop immediately. That's why punctuations are very important, because it will provide different meaning to what we actually want to say. Another example that I have. A woman without her man is nothing. There. So no punctuations, just simply a period. So it means that a woman should, that particular woman should exist. Would only exist with her man, right? But if I add punctuations, so here, a woman without her man is nothing. So if you would notice, the way that I am reading it will be different as well, because if there are punctuations, so you will tend to have some pauses, right? You will tend to have some short stops in between the words. So stopping as well would provide different meanings. So here, a woman without her man is nothing, versus to a woman without her man is nothing. Right? So they will have different meanings as well, depending on your punctuation. And again, it would affect how you're reading it and how you are going to say it. Okay, because pauses, yes, it will provide a lot of change. That's why punctuations are very important. When are we going to use the period? When are we going to use the question mark, commas, exclamation points? Okay, not just for the reader, but for the speaker as well. Because if there are no punctuation marks, I will just read it continuously. Right? I will just read everything continuously. And again, the meaning is different. But if there were punctuation marks, I will have some dramatic pauses here and there. Dramatic pauses. I will have some pauses here and there. And again, will provide a different way on how the listeners will be able to decipher the meaning as well. Okay, so we'll be discussing how the punctuation marks should be used later on. Okay, later on we'll discuss how the punctuation marks should be used, periods, commas, colons, semicolons, okay, the different type of punctuation marks that we have, the commonly used ones. Okay, because again, just like the examples that were provided, they can express what we actually want to mean. Okay, and will appeal differently to the readers, to the listeners as well, on how we are able to express those punctuation marks. Okay, but for now, I'll leave you guys hanging. That's everything that I have for you guys today. Will continue again tomorrow. Same time, of course, 6 p.m. still here on the same channel. Okay, so thank you very much for attending the session today. I hope you guys were able to pick up some additional knowledge or additional things that will be able to help you guys express yourselves better and will be able to help you guys be more confident in using the English language as well and would help you as well with your jobs. But thank you. Thank you for today. I'll meet you guys again tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day today. See you tomorrow.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You're
Good night.
welcome. Thank you as well.
Welcome. Welcome.